Hi, Bruce Miller here. Today we're going to talk about the fiscal cliff. But first, what a day today in the markets. Ben Bernanke and the Fed finally introduced QE3, or a quantitative easing 3 package. What that means is that for the next 6 months, the Fed will be buying up bonds, primarily in the form of mortgage-backed securities. And what that does is tends to keep interest rates artificially low, which is what we've seen in the past and obviously will continue at least for the rest of the year. And they've indicated that they may not raise interest rates in any significant amount until 2015. Well, those statements had quite an effect on the stock market. Not only the stock market, but all markets. The Dow was up nearly 2%, and most indexes followed. In addition, gold and oil were up as well. You see, what this means is that the easy money policy will continue, and hedge funds and investors love that and tend to leverage to the hilt in this type of a situation. So it looks like September is going to be a good month on the markets. But what about next quarter? That's what I want to talk about. The fiscal cliff is fast approaching, and if you haven't heard much about it before, you will from this point on. You see, on January 1st of 2013, 3 major events will occur, which are the result of a repeal of several stimulative effects that occurred in years past. All the way back to 2001, in fact, when George Bush pushed through the first series of the Bush tax cuts. And he continued that into 2003, and it did have somewhat of a stimulative effect on the economy. But then things went on, things overheated, and in 2008 we had the big crash, which almost devastated all of the global economies. So further programs followed, QE1, then quantitative easing 2, and more recently some other stimulative programs such as the reduction of the payroll tax by 2%, which occurred 2 years ago, and the continued extension of emergency unemployment benefits. Well, you see, in 2013, all those years of stimulative programs will go away. And that could have a major effect on the economy in 2013. It could well push us into a mild, moderate, or possibly even a severe recession. So let me tell you how each one of those items will happen. First of all, the 2% payroll tax reduction that people have known for the last 2 years will go away. Hence, every working person will have a 2% drop in their wage in the new year. What does that mean? Well, it means they'll be spending less, probably 2% less to go into consumption, which is a major economic factor. And of course, emergency unemployment benefits will run out or be severely cut back, and that in turn will have a negative effect on the economy. The next number 2 point is the fact that the Bush tax cuts will expire. Now, that won't have a big effect on low-income workers, but will have a major impact on the middle class and also on higher income earners. Hence, once again, consumption probably will decline significantly as tax rates increase. It usually does. And then the third point is that in addition to all the cuts that are going to occur, the federal government is mandated to cut the budget by $1.2 trillion. Now, that won't all occur in 1 year, but in the first year they'll probably have to cut the budget by about $120 billion. That budget will affect most areas, including defense and, of course, social services. Defense, how that will trickle down is that fewer contracts, higher unemployment in the defense sector. And, of course, as social services goes away, so do the incomes that it provides for those people who need it the most. So many significant items that will occur when the fiscal cliff hits. So the question is, will it or won't it? Well, you know, in a way it doesn't really matter, at least for the next quarter. Because what the market doesn't like is the uncertainty that goes with a negative situation like this. Let me take you back a year ago when we were debating whether to extend the federal budget ceiling. Routinely, we would see the stock market go up or down by 300 or 400 points in a day because the market simply does not like uncertainty. That is very likely to occur in the coming quarter. Other factors will come into play. Corporate earnings will come into play. But I can tell you one thing for sure. Be prepared for a wild ride. And Ben, until next month, let's go make some money.